How and when to clean a hamster cage. Fancy an ongoing collection of resources, reports, free courses about hamsters to ensure you give your hamster the best possible care? Too easy. Just take a quick moment to subscribe and click the bell icon and you will never miss out again. Okay, in this video we are going to look at how and when to clean a hamster cage. Hamsters are basically clean animals and appreciate a clean house. Any odors that are coming from the cage area are generally from dirty bedding and not the hamster. Once a week the cage should be thoroughly cleaned. Dismantle the cage and remove the old bedding. If there are urine buildups, they should be scraped off. All parts should be washed with an antibacterial soap. Rinsed with warm water and thoroughly dried. If the hamster has been sick, do a second cleaning with diluted household bleach, 5 to 10% bleach water mix. And rinse until all bleach odors have dissipated. Don't forget the outside bottom of the cage either. Especially if it's sitting on a solid shelf with no air circulation underneath. This is a prime breeding ground for unhealthy bacteria. Another method for a quick sterilization is to wash the antibacterial soap and rinse thoroughly. Shake as much remaining water out as possible. Pour in a small amount of isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Cover the entire surface with it and dry with a clean towel. As with the bleach, make sure there aren't any remaining alcohol odors. Before reassembling the cage and putting the hamster back, it is also a good idea to clean the water bottle, food dish, wheel and toys at the same time you clean the cage. Add fresh bedding, the remainder of the furnishings. Put the hamster back and watch your happy and contented hamster. Occasionally a water bottle leaks or some other disaster occurs, which leaves a cage unhealthy for both mama hamster and her new pups. Although the rule of thumb is not to disturb the nest for at least the first 10 days. There are exceptions. Since hamsters, by nature, are clean animals, they do appreciate a clean and dry home. When changing a cage with new pups, move slowly and talk to mom and pop hamster in a soft and reassuring voice. Dwarf hamsters, dwarfs are generally quite tolerant. The most effective method of completing the task of providing a dry cage is as follows. Put a small amount of fresh bedding in a bucket or container for mom and dad. Gently remove them from the cage. They may be a little agitated because they will feel the need to protect their newborn pups. If necessary, scoop them up with a coffee mug and place them in the bucket or container. Now take a soup bowl or other clean scooping device, and with 2 hands, preferably gloved, but at least thoroughly cleaned, in order to avoid transmitting your human scent to the pups, gather up as much of the nest as possible along with the pups. Make sure that none of the bedding in the nest is wet. Place the nest and pups in the bowl and then clean the cage. Clean bedding, toilet paper for new nesting material, fresh water, food, and a treat for mom and pop, like a slice of apple, will prepare the cage for the family's return. First, put the pups and nest back in the cage, in the same location that mom had them in preferably. Second, place mom and pop near the food and treat, which should keep them preoccupied while the pups are getting resettled. Mom may carry the pups around and generally will relocate the nest. Don't disturb them anymore. Give them time to determine that all is well on the home front, and they can settle down in their now clean and dry home, and focus once again on caring for the pups. Syrians are not quite as tolerant as dwarf hamsters. Mama Syrian is more reluctant to leave her pups. With a wet, soiled cage, she has probably already found the driest place for the nest and pups. If she doesn't want to get off of the nest, just leave her alone for the time being. Take all the equipment out of the cage and start scooping out the wet bedding. Some moms may get curious and leave the nest to investigate. If this happens, gently scoop her up and put her in a bucket. If she still refuses to leave the nest, work around her as much as possible. As long as the nest is dry, don't disturb it, but remove all the soiled bedding around it. If the nest is wet, it will be necessary to remove both the mom and the pups. The same applies with the dwarfs. Put mom in a bucket and the pups in a soup bowl. After the bedding is removed, dry the cage thoroughly with a clean towel and add fresh bedding, food, fresh water, toilet paper for additional nesting material, and a treat for mom. If mom is waiting impatiently in a bucket, return her to the cage near the treat. If it has been necessary to remove both mom and the pups, put the pups back first in roughly the same location. Go away and don't disturb mom further. Let her investigate and make sure everything has been done properly and that her pups. And as a responsible hamster owner, make sure that you have pet insurance in case your cute hamster needs an operation. Simply Google the best pet insurance companies and compare the various premiums. If you look, you'll find a pet insurance plan you can afford. Pet insurance should be arranged for all your pets at home to prevent stress for both you and your animals. Choose the best veterinary insurance to cover your loved pets. Pet insurance premiums vary, so choose the best premiums and have a good night's sleep. Thanks for watching.